Many families who are impacted by autism often don't know where to turn for help. In this sponsored segment this morning, we introduce you to Laugh and Learn Autism Therapy and talk more about how people can get involved. We welcome to Good Morning Mid-Michigan Tricia Wonderland along with Cody Cole to talk about how this is making a difference. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming in. We'll start with the basics here. Let our viewers at home know where is Laugh and Learn Autism Therapy based out of, and what do you do?
So we're based off into Grand Blanc, Michigan, as well as Brighton, Michigan. So we are an ABA facility that provides ABA therapy, which is applied behavior analysis. It's an individual therapy approach. We work with families and children to help improve communication, social skills, play skills, and independent living skills.
Well, Cody, that's where you come in.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your story with your family.
So I'm a parent of a former client of Laugh and Learn. My son was diagnosed with autism about 2.5 years old, and we shortly started therapy at Laugh and Learn thereafter. We were there for about 2 years until he graduated, and their services were very important in our overall journey in giving us a kind of home base when there's so many autism therapies out there.
Well, of course, and talk about that. There are options, but what kind of attracted you to this option?
So given that my son was so young at the time, his program was more play-based, and we really liked that. And we also loved how the skills that were learned within Laugh and Learn could be transferred to the home environment and eventually to the school environment.
We'll talk a little bit more about that approach there and how you see it making a difference in children's lives.
So we work with parents and really try to help set the child up for success. So that collaboration between parents and school staff is extremely important to make sure that we can make the largest impact possible.
We'll talk a little bit more about those improvements that you saw.
Oh, okay. So what we did is we started at ABA with Laugh and Learn, and then we kind of got a baseline of where my son was at with his behaviors and his interactions with others, and then we made a plan on where do we want to go, and then where do we want to go once we hit those goals, and then where was that going to be most important in real life too. We wanted to make sure that he could be safe in the real world environment, but we also wanted to make sure that he knew how to have fun and interact with peers, but on his own terms.
But bottom line, it made a difference, right?
So much of a difference.
Yes, and talk about your passion behind this mission. Why are you so driven with what you do?
It's an amazing experience to change individuals' lives. I think so many parents can relate to this when they have a autistic child where, you might not be able to go out in public because you just don't feel safe. Or they're just dealing with a lot of challenges of the child engaging in maybe problematic behavior. Maybe they're not safe, they're injuring themselves or others. So we get to come alongside of families and really help support them through this journey.
Oh, well, overall, how do you think this is setting up your son for success in life?
Yeah, Laugh and Learn really added to his toolbox of life to make him the most successful self that he could be. My son's always going to have autism. There's no treatment that's ever going to make that completely go away, but it really made him be more successful at home, at school, and then overall as a family too. I mean, we can have so many more experiences together, and we don't have to worry about, is there going to be an elopement issue? Is there going to be a meltdown? Is there going to be something that's going to derail us altogether?
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that it's had success with your family. There's more information on your screen where you can learn more about Laugh and Learn. There's the website, and there are 2 locations. And thank you both for coming in today, and thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thank you.